the good news is we've got Shari Simpson next. She writes the blog, Earth Mother Just Means I'm Dusty, and she would like to thank the groovy and amazing women of BlogHer, her dear friend Pickles for forcing her to share this story, and most of all God for constantly putting her in ludicrous situations so she has stuff to write about. Please join me in welcoming Shari as she reads the best, worst female story you will ever read.
A few years back, 2003 to be exact, I occasionally hung out with Tori Spelling. How that came about is not important to the story, but suffice it to say that I knew her well enough to be invited to dinner one night at the Spelling Manor. Do you think you might be nervous about having dinner with uber-famous people in a 123-room, $150 million house? Would you worry that you'd spill something, break something, do something humiliating that might, I don't know, maybe haunt you for the rest of your life? So there I was, in my sassy little miniskirt, sitting with Aaron Spelling as he charmed me with stories about his past in television and all the stars he had met, when suddenly I felt something. To this day, I'm not sure if that something was in my nether region or in my mind, a sort of a warning bell. All I knew was that I needed to get to a restroom and fast. I asked discreetly and was directed to a guest bathroom whose furnishings cost as much as my college education. The one thing they hadn't invested in? Extra toilet paper. One slender roll hung on the golden holder, and one slender roll was not going to cut it tonight because Aunt Flo had come for a visit 2 weeks early. But Auntie looked different, unlike her normal, slim, gentle self. The Aunt Flo who was visiting me at the $150 million Spelling Mansion was the fat lady of the circus. Because, and I hesitated to tell this part of the story, but hey, being vulnerable, I had suffered a miscarriage a few weeks prior. Do you know anything about the first period after a miscarriage? It's less like a period and more like an exclamation point. I went into complete panic mode, going through the cabinets, empty, the medicine cabinet, gold-flecked hand cream, the towel closet, hand towels so plush you could take a nap on one. There was nothing in that room that was absorbent and could be jammed into one's thong. Hands shaking, I unraveled the entire roll of toilet paper and re-raveled it around the dental floss that was masquerading as my underwear. Now, I had every intention of asking my hostess for help, but when I came out of the bathroom, she was deep in conversation with another guest. Across the room, past Aaron, who eagerly launched back into his stories as soon as he saw me. I will now invite you into the monologue in my head. Tori, look at me. Look up. Look up. Look up, look up, look up, look up, look up. But what would you do if you did look up? You don't live here. Your stuff's not here. I know your mother has a gift wrapping room and a bowling alley here in the house, but I doubt that she has a tampon room. Wait, is that the maid? Oh, maid, look up, look up, look at me, look at me, look at me. Maid, no, don't say dinner is served. No, please don't tell us to move into the dining room. I'm moving into the dining room. I'm moving into the dining room with a full roll of toilet paper between my legs. I'm not saying anything to anyone, and I don't know why. I seem to be frozen. I'm just moving into the dining room, and I'm going to sit in a minute. I'm going to sit on a chair. And there's the chair. It is a white silk brocade chair. And they are asking me to sit on it. They are asking me to sit on that silky white chair with my Red Sea bottom. Now, in abject terror, I quickly duck into yet another guest bathroom. It looks like someone has butchered a hog in my underpants. And there is a half roll of TP hanging on the spindle. For the love of every holy angel of Charlie, these people are rich. Can they not afford a second freaking roll of toilet paper? I have no choice. I take a hand towel and wedge it in my thong. and walk very, very, very carefully to my silky white chair so that it doesn't fall out on the dining room floor. And I sit on that chair. I sit on that glowy, snowy, cloud-puffy white chair. I sit on my maxi towel, on that dreamy, creamy, don't be streamy white chair. And I pray. Oh my God, how I pray. And the dinner goes on and on and on and on. I drink my red wine. I watch the juices flow out of my medium rare filet mignon. I watch the tasteful serving cup of ketchup be passed around. And I feast on irony. Finally, the moment arrives that I have been dreading with the intensity of 1,000 episodes of Love Boat. Dinner is over, and I have to stand up. I offer one last prayer before I do. God, remember that story in the Bible about the woman who had been bleeding for 12 years? I just did the equivalent of that in an hour and a half. But Jesus healed that woman, and I believe that you can heal the white silk brocade chair. And I stood up, and there was nothing on the chair. Nothing. When I went to the bathroom, it looked like the Battle of Antietam had been fought in my drawers. But there was nothing on the $150 million Spelling Manor white silk brocade dining room chair. Now, how can people say there is no God?